this is Heba from My Little Journal, and today I'm really excited to be sharing my February setup in my daily journal. I've talked about this journal a lot, and if you haven't seen my January setup, I will link it up at the eye for you. But I wanted to share with you how it's looking. As you guys know, I used to use Archer and Olive's planner for my daily journal and changed it up this year, kind of trying to give myself more space to journal. So I changed it to a regular dotted journal from Archer and Olive. And I started it with my every night reading challenge. Because I write in this journal every night, I always like to have my reading challenge in my daily journal. And I really love how this turned out. I kept it simple. If you've watched my setup, you saw I used my stamps. I used large stamps for my first few spreads and then changed it up and went with a little bit smaller, and it gave me more space to journal. But I've said this before, in my daily journal, it's not like I'm writing stories or anything poetic or anything like that. It's literally tidbits from the day, just to kind of look back and see what we did that day. And I do add stickers. I found two new artists that I really love, and they sell their arts in sticker form. So I've been purchasing a lot of their stickers as well and using Pipstick as well. So there's a lot going on. I love it. Obviously, I'm recording this ahead of time to post it on the 1st of the month. So I still didn't finish journaling here, but I love how it turned out, and I'm really excited to set up February. Again, I'm keeping it simple for February. I will not be, going all out and doing themes. So I'm not going to be documenting Valentine's or making a Valentine theme spread. That's just not my style. And I like to keep things simple and nice and neat. This is all about having space for me to journal every night. It's just soothing and relaxing. So I'm going to go ahead and speed this up, do a voiceover, and start working on February. Okay, you guys, let's start working in my daily journal. I'm going to start with my title page. I like to separate each month. That way, you can figure out what month you're looking at. So I'm going to stamp out February. I'm also using Studio Calico's Tucker Alpha stamp sets. Now, at first, I thought I'm just going to go ahead and stamp out February, but thought better about it and thought, I want this to be centered, so I need 4 letters on each side of my spread. So I started with my R. That way I'm sure my word is centered and perfect. So I go for it. I love this alpha. It's bold, it's big. You can even use your markers to fill them out if you wanted to. But I had something in mind. I really wanted it to be simple with a pop of color. So I'm going to actually end up grabbing this greenery stamp set from Everyday Explorers. And I'm going to add a few leaves kind of coming off of my February. This stamp set, I believe, is sold out, but I do think that they have the digital stamp set for this. If I find it, I will link it in the description box. But as always, I link everything I used in the description box. But I'm just literally stamping it randomly. I'm using different sizes. I think it looks so cute. And this is how I can bring in a pop of color, filling out my leaves and not my February. You can kind of play around with this. You can either fill out your February or fill out whatever you add to your February or whatever you add to your spread. But I like that idea of just filling out the little leaves. I also want to add a border to my spread. I've been really enjoying that lately, so I literally will add a border to every single layout in my daily journal. I just think it adds, boldness, and it just finishes off the spread really well. But I also want to fill out those leaves, so I'm going to actually use my acrylograph markers. I think I said that right. Those are from Archer and Olive, and they're new to me, but I've seen loads of people using it, and they're so beautiful. So I'm going to try them out. We're going to try them out together. You're supposed to shake them really well. They're kind of like Posca pens, and then you just kind of tap them a few times for the marker to start, and you can start coloring in whatever you want. And I'm going to use this beautiful blue Fill out my leaves. It adds that pop of color. I love it so much, and I love that it's matte. That's why I love my Posca pens. These are pricier than Poscas, that's for sure. But man, are they nice and smooth. I really enjoyed using them, and I believe I'm using the 0.7 tip, and I really, really like it. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and add a few dots here and there just to like spread out my blue on my spread. I don't want to add way too much to it, if that makes sense. So I'm just adding some dots. You guys know my obsession with dots. And I'm gonna grab this calendar stamp set. This is an old calendar stamp set from Kelly Perky. I'm gonna use it to stamp out the calendar, but that set did not have a calendar up to 28 days, and this month is 28 days. So all I did was I covered some of that with some washi tape. That way when I stamp it out, I have 1 through 28 and we're good to go. Now we can start with my weekly spreads. I am going to start by stamping week on each layout. That way it just makes the process easier. I'm not doing spread by spread. I will use the stamp set, I think it's from Citrus Twist, to stamp week on 4 of my spreads. Then I'm going to grab my calendar day stamp sets from Everyday Explorers to stamp, I believe, 5 through 8. That way I have that ready and I don't have to worry about it while I'm working on my spreads. By the way, you'll probably notice that I switch my ink pads a lot. And the reason behind that is because I just like to use all my ink pads. I don't prefer one over the other. Whatever is close by and is available, I'll use it. And of course, you know, there's certain colors that I like from certain brands, but I'll use whatever I enjoy at the moment. So that's why I switch my ink pads a lot. I'm gonna grab my stamp mat because the Archer and Olive, once you start using it, you have one side that's thicker than the other, obviously. So the stamp pad really helps get the best impressions. And I'm going to start with week 5 here. I'm gonna stamp using the stamp set from Studio Calico. I want to change it up this month. I'm trying all the things. I'm gonna have fun with my spreads. And I thought each month I'm going to probably use a different stamp set. So I'm using this one. It has a filler, so I'm filling it out with some gray light ink. And I will use the stamp set to add my Monday through Sunday. And that way, you know, I have more space to journal. The stamps are a little bit smaller. I can play around with them, and you'll even see I'm going to use some embellishments on this spread, but I'm just having fun with this. It's a great way to use your stamps, and I'm really, really enjoying it. So I'm going to start filling out my ovals with the days of the week. And also I'm going to grab from the same stamp set, there's like words and sentiments that are half a circle that you can fill out your ovals with. So I'm going to use that to add the top portion. And I'm going to use one of my smaller number stamps from Kelly Perky to add the number in each oval. It's just gonna, like, the oval's gonna hold all the information, if that makes sense. So I'm gonna literally stamp all the things in my ovals, and then I'm gonna grab my word stickers to add color to my ovals. There's some space on the bottom portion, and I thought it was perfect to add a pop of color. I can fill it out with word stickers. So I'm actually gonna grab my word stickers, go through them. I end up finding this really pretty pink with gray, matched really well, and it added the perfect pop. It fit my oval, so I'm gonna go with it. While I had my word stickers out, I remembered that I wanted to add my tab. I've been using these tabs from Studio Calico to add the month on the side of my, like, each month. And so I went ahead and added that. I'm kind of going with this subtle cream. It's beautiful. I want to add some lines to kind of give me a place where to stop journaling for each day. And it's kind of fun to do. So I grabbed this journaling stamp set. I believe it's from Studio Calico. And I'm going to use the dotted lines to add just around each day. That way when I'm journaling, I know where the day stops, kind of thing. And I'm going to grab some washi tape, add a few little bits of washi here and there, just to kind of add a little cuteness to my spread. I'm going to grab that same stamp set that I used for my February title page just to add a few leaves here and there. I will end up filling these out with that same beautiful blue that I used on my title page, but I just didn't want to waste time doing it right now, but you'll see them at the end of this video when I share photos of my spreads. Anyways, I'm also going to be adding staying home. I've been using this stamp set since the pandemic hit. It's perfect to add the number of days we've been home. It's crazy. We're probably right now at like 330 or something crazy like that. But I just love that stamp set and I usually use it on every single spread. I added a border, and this is where I grab that stamp set that says staying home, and I'm going to add it to each and every day. Let's move on to week 6. I'm going to use Feed Your Crafts stamp set here. I forgot the name of it, but as always, I'll be linking it in the description box for you. But I like that the days of the week are outlined. That way I can use my markers to fill them out. And I actually have been really enjoying doing that. It just adds a pop of color. But I'll also grab a different ink pad to add the dates. That way I add more color, and when I end up adding my journaling, you know, the days of the week and the numbers stand out. So I end up using this really beautiful ink pad from Close to My Heart. I think this one's the Glacier color or maybe Sage, but I'm just going to use that to add my dates. And then I'm going to grab that dotted line from Studio Calico just to add the lines to separate the dates. Grab the staying home stamp set again and add that to each day. As you can see, I'm kind of on repeat, so I'm changing up the days of the week and the dates a little bit, but I'm using the same stamps over and over, like the staying home, the dotted lines, adding a border, using the same leaf stamp. So things are really cohesive, but not, if that makes sense. Anyways, I want to fill out one of the dates here, or my day stamp, Monday, and I just want to show you how it looks. It looks so cool. I ended up using this really pretty mustardy yellow, and I will end up finishing that off later. Again, you'll see the end results in my photos at the end of the video. But right now, I'm going to grab that same leaf stamp and add a few leaves here and there, again, to keep things cohesive. And, you know, if you have the stamps out, might as well use them on all your spreads. That way you're not thinking too hard how to fill out your daily journal or whatever journal you're working on, your bullet journal. It's just easier that way. If you stick to a few stamps every month, things will come together really quickly. Finish up the spread by adding my border, and then we can move on to week 7. So for week 7, I changed it up by using a different week stamp. And it looked pretty good until I started stamping the dates. So this is what happened. I had like something in mind where I would stamp the dates kind of in a lighter shade to have them kind of blend in with my Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, but I chose a color that was not light enough and it just looked like a mess, you guys. You'll see right now, I grabbed my Everyday Explorers Calendar Day stamp set, and when I stamped 15, I didn't like it at all. That green was too dark and it just looked horrible. I keep going and then I decide, okay, I don't like this. We're gonna scratch this out. And what I'm gonna do is grab my little notepad from Archer and Olive. It's perforated. It's perfect to cover up any boo-boos. You don't have to tear any pages out or anything like that. It fits perfectly into your little journal. So I'm just gonna do that. I'm gonna cover all of that up and start over. And it's okay. It happens. It's not a big deal. If you don't like something, you can start over. It happens to me all the time. So you can see how easy it was to cover it up. I love that little notebook. It's perfect for jotting down things. If you need extra paper, you just tear it out and use it. And it fits perfectly in your journals to cover up any boo-boo. So anyway, I went ahead and stamped week. I'm gonna stamp Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday again, and we're gonna start over. This time around, I actually go with a very pretty subtle peach ink pad to add the dates, and it works out perfectly. I love how it turns out, and I will be doing this again for sure in the future because I love the subtleness of that peach. And at the end of this video, I actually grabbed some of my stickers and add a few stickers here and there, and that peach matched it really, really well. Okay, so I grabbed the leaf stamp again, and I'm gonna add a few leaves here and there, just in the corners of my spread. I'll also add my border, my staying home, and my dotted lines, just like I did for the other two spreads. Again, if you use the same stamps over and over, you'll still have some type of cohesiveness throughout your whole journal. And you can still change it up by using different stamps for your date stamps, your week stamps, all that good stuff. And by the way, by using the same marker to fill out my leaves, that also helped keep everything cohesive and matching. And you guys, if you've been watching me for a while, you know I don't like things to be matchy-matchy. But in something like this, if you just use the same colors throughout your month, you'll still have a theme. If you're not really big on themes like, you know, stamping hearts for February and stuff like that, you can still kind of use little things like your marker and the same stamp set over and over, and you'll still have some kind of cohesiveness and theme throughout your month. Anyways, we're moving on to week 8, and I am using this beautiful stamp set from Kelly Perky. This stamp set is not available anymore. The Kelly Perky shop does not exist anymore, so I know it's not available, but I love it so much, so I'm going to use it to add my dates, and then I'm going to use that same stamp set from Feed Your Craft to add the week stamps from Monday through Sunday. And I will actually fill these out with this really beautiful peach marker from my acrylograph markers from Archer and Olive. So I'm using these week dates to bring in some color to my spreads. I'm also using the same leaf stamp again. I'll add my staying home stamp. This time around, I'm not going to use the dotted line because this is so straight and in columns. I really don't need it. Adding that line would just take up space. So I just keep it as is. I'm going to add my border around my spread and call week 8 done. And by the way, while I was stamping staying home, I remembered that I didn't add it to week 7. So I'm going to go back to week 7 and add staying home. That's the beauty of working in your own journal and creating your own spreads. is that if you forget something, you can always go back and add it. But anyways, I'm almost done. I'm gonna grab the sticker sheets that I purchased from Etsy. They are beautiful. They're from Lettering and Me, I think that's the name of the shop. I will link it in the description box, but her stickers are beautiful. And what I usually do is I use the whole sheet for 1 month. I think that's a great deal if you're filling out a whole month with one sheet. Sometimes my sheet will even go through 2 months, if that makes sense. So anyways, I'm just adding them randomly to my days. They add a pop of color, cuteness to my spreads. I love that the peach matches my mustard yellow in these stickers, and the green matches my leaves. It's just so pretty, and I love how it turns out. By the way, sometimes if my stickers are too big to be added to one side of my spread, I will trim it a little bit and add it to both sides so it kind of sits at the fold, and I love that look. So you can see me here doing that, and that way I can still use those larger stickers, and you know, they kind of sit on both sides. Anyways, you guys, I'm almost done. I'm gonna just flip through this real quick so you can see my finished spreads, and hopefully I'll be back next or the end of the month or beginning of March to share with you my March setup and how February turned out. I'm really loving this dotted journal, and I can't wait to share with you all the things, all the spreads once I'm done. Don't forget, I will be linking everything I use down in the description box for you. I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and if you did, please give me a thumbs up, and if you are new to my channel, please consider subscribing, and I hope to see you guys very soon. Bye!